Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody has had a great Christmas, spending lots of time with family and eating a bunch of food. I know I have. But I want to do a video, start doing videos for you guys. One where I give something back, which we're going to do in this video. At the end, I'm going to give all this back to 3 lucky subscribers. It's going to be simple. All you guys got to do is leave a comment. I'm going to go on there randomly. 7 days later, pick the comment. I'll comment back to you. You're going to need to send me your address because I'm going to mail 3 of you guys all this stuff we're fixing to talk about. But what we're going to talk about is 3 baits that you need to have tied on for the upcoming month. And this upcoming month is going to be January. And by no means are these the only 3 baits, because, you know, we live in an awesome country from coast to coast that is very diverse. So somebody up in Minnesota is like, man, I can't throw any of those. I got ice on the lake. I realize that, but just 3 baits in general. And then we're going to do it again for February and March and April, and we're going to give all that stuff away to you guys just as a thank you for watching and being loyal subscribers. So let's dive off, get started on this video. The month of January in my part of the country is actually really good fishing. Catch really big fish. The water hasn't got as cold as it's going to get for the most part. A lot of times the water's clean. It's just good fishing in January. I always really like January. Now when I get to February, I think it gets a lot tougher. But with that said, you know, one of the #1 baits that I'm gonna say in January that I love to throw is a jerkbait. This is a deeper diving jerkbait. This is a 110 plus. It's gonna get a little bit deeper, 6, 7 feet, somewhere in that range. And the biggest thing that I can tell you guys, and that's going to be with all these baits right here, please listen to me with this one tip. Don't put too big a line on. 8-pound, 10-pound test. Those are the 2 line sizes I want you to have on. If you got to go to 12, it's okay, but man, you're cutting yourself off because you're going to get more bites. 10 is really the magic line size for everything right here that we're going to talk about. And it's just so critical because you're able to work that bait slower, stay in better contact with it, keep it in the, you know, keep it deeper. It's going to have more action. It's just going to be better, cast better, further. 10-pound fluorocarbon. That's what I want you to use on all these baits. I use Bass Pro XPS fluorocarbon. It's a really good fluorocarbon. But jerk baits. Pick a color of jerk bait. We're going to give away these 3 right here. I've got one that's really transparent. It's a chartreuse shad. When you hold it up to the light, you can see through it. This is going to be a really great bait for clear, sunny days. It's transparent, super clear water. When I say clear, I'm talking about 4 or 5 foot of visibility, 6 foot of visibility, clear water. Like, you can really see. This is going to be the bait in a sunny day. This is what you're going to want to throw on those days. You know, when we think about jerkbait fishing, guys, a couple things that I want you to remember, I'm going to reiterate here. As long a cast as you can make, get that bait down to the depth that you want, that you think you can get it to. So I'm not going to pause it for a long time on my first 3 or 4 jerks. I'm going to jerk, and get it down to I feel like the depth that I can get it, and then I'm going to start counting, and I'm going to count to 5 or 8 or 10, and I'm going to vary that. Just jerk, pause, jerk, pause. You know, just kind of vary my retrieve up, vary that pause up, and I'm really going to let it sit when I feel like I've got it on that outside corner of that dock, or I've got it sitting right over the top of that brush pile, or over a rock, or right on the best cast. You know, for me, I'm always casting a jerkbait at it. When I'm letting it pause the longest, I'm casting it at something where I feel like I'm pulling that fish away from it. I can't let it sit the entire cast back. You know, maybe it's a standing pole timber. I'm going to let it pause extra long next to that pole timber. That to me is very important. Okay, back to the colors. The clear, transparent ones in your super clear water, 4 to 6 foot visibility. Now I've got a solid color. This one right here, chameleon pearl. You can't see through it. It's white side, black back, chartreuse belly. This is going to be one that I would use in that same 4 to 6 foot visibility water, but on a cloudy day. This is going to be one that I could get away with in that 2 to 3 foot visibility stained water, cloudy or sunny. That's when this bait's going to shine for me. Then lastly, I've got a clown color. Man, this color, it looks ridiculous. It's kind of like the name, but when that water's dingy, say a lot dingier than you really think you should be throwing a jerkbait, and it's sunny. This is a sunny bait because of the reflection, you know, that 1 to 2 foot visibility. That's when you're gonna throw that clown color. A really, really good bait for that. That's when I throw that. So we're gonna give 3 of those away to 3 different lucky subscribers here 7 days from now. And that's one bait I'm gonna have tied on. Reiterate, 10-pound test. I'm gonna throw that. I believe I've done a video on jerkbait rods. If I haven't, I will shortly, or it'll be coming out. But I basically throw that on a 6.9 medium action rod. I throw it on a high-speed reel, 10-pound test, and yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. All right, moving on. Another bait that I'm gonna have tied on is a bad shad. Or, you know, this is Berkeley's version of a shad wrap. I like it better because it's heavier, I can throw it further. Here in Oklahoma, a lot of times I'm throwing it in stained water. It's got a very subtle rattle to it that I think is a very good drawing power. You know, this thing's gonna dive deeper, being 8.5 feet. It's just, this to me is so critical this time of year. You know, you ask why not throw a dredger or a digger or some other, you know, crankbait that you throw in the summertime. It's the action. These things are very, very subtle action. Just like when you look in that cold water and you see a shad swimming, it's just everything's slower. This is a much slower movement coming through the water. And I feel like bass feel that movement with their lateral lines. So if you come in my boat and you look at my boat, it's gonna be tied on while we're out there filming and fishing and having fun. But I just got shad patterns here. You know, this one here is my favorite. It's just a purple back, white side, a blue back, and a brown back with a blue side. You know, any 3 of those are gonna work. Those are gonna be the colors I'm imitating a shad. I think one thing that a lot of people miss with a crankbait in the wintertime is the retrieve. I am going to reel that bait, pause it, and then pull it with my rod. I'm gonna reel it, pause, pull. And it's just a very, very subtle action. I can feel the bait as I sweep it with my rod. It's just something that I do and it catches fish. It makes yourself really slow it down. It pauses that bait almost like a crankbait, or I mean a jerkbait. I'm also gonna throw that thing a lot of times on a 5-to-1 gear ratio reel. That's so critical. It just keeps me from reeling that bait too fast through the water. You'll get lots more bites doing that. These baits come with great hooks on them. You don't have to change the hooks. It'll mess with the weighting issue of it. And I love these things because I can throw them a long ways. They got some weight to them and I can get them way, way out there. I'm gonna throw that on a 7-foot medium heavy cranking rod. I told you the 5-to-1 gear ratio reel. Rocky banks, it's great over grass. Channel swings, you know, just pea gravel banks, transitions, you know, those normal things that you're looking for. Okay, lastly, we got to talk about an underspin. You cannot go wintertime fishing in January without having an underspin tied on. You know, this right here is just a Bass Pro underspin, 3/8 ounce. I've got just a Berkeley minnow, it's what it's called, just a pearl white minnow that I'll rig that thing on. I love this Bass Pro one because it's got double keepers right here. And what I'll do a lot of times on these keepers, they're just a little, oh, I don't know, a little more than I need. I'm gonna bend those in just a little bit so it doesn't tear my bait up quite as bad when I go to rig it. It kind of makes my bait a little bit better. They're just a little aggressive. Let me just put it that way. Those hooks are a little aggressive, so I bend them in just a little bit if you look right there, and that helps it a bunch. So then I'm gonna set that bait right on the side, and I'm gonna see I need to come out with this hook right between the B and the A on the power bait on the back. If I turn that so you guys can see it, you can see the B and the A, that hook needs to come out right in that back. And I'm gonna rig it. So critical, guys, to have this stuff straight. I mean straight as a string when you go to do this. So we get it rigged. I think I said the B and the A. There, I just poked it right out the Right between the B and the A, I'm gonna push it up there on there. Oh, I did pretty good. I did okay, I didn't do great. I got it off to the side just a little bit here. I would have rather it been a little bit over. If I was fishing big tournament today, I'd get that a little straighter. I just like this. It's very slender, very compact. Again, 10-pound test. I like the weed guard on it. This is a bait I throw on a 7'1" medium heavy rod or a 7'4" medium heavy rod. That platinum rod's a rod I'd use. Again, 10-pound test. It just gets to the bottom so much better. You can put this on a 6/8 to 1 or 8/3 to 1. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna move and work this bait with my rod. So many people see that spinner, they think of a spinner bait, but to me, I'm working this bait, I'm letting it go to the bottom, and I just lift it up, let it go back to the bottom. Lift it up, so I'm moving it with the rod, and then letting it fall on tight line back to the bottom. It's a very, very slow, subtle retrieve. Not a retrieve, it's a retrieve that I'm using with the rod. I don't use my reel to bring this bait in. I'm always moving the bait with my rod, letting it fall, reel up to slack, move the bait with my rod, let it fall, reel up to slack. There are times that you just slowly crawl it on along the bottom, but it's a bottom contacting bait for me this time of year. I'm gonna throw this out off points, pea gravel points, again, transitions, you know, from bluffs to pea gravels. That's the type of places that bait really shines. It also, like over on the East Coast, it's gonna be in those ditches where you got those herring lakes and those fish are really pushing those herring up those ditches. It can be really, really good in those instances. So I like the pearl white. It just, I think at that kind of depth that I'm fishing this, you know, this is out there deep, 18, 20, 22, 25 feet. Color just kind of goes away, you know, so this is going to be a bait that's, you know, I'm going to say 2 to 3 foot visibility is like where it really, really shines. Works really, really well though. That's the head 3/8 ounce, the Berkeley Minnow, and man, it works really, really well. On top of that, guys, I'm going to give you all some pecans. Everybody's going to get a 1-pound bag of pecans to go with it. That's 3 baits that I've got tied on going into January, fishing right here around this part of the country, and or anywhere I'd be going if I was traveling to a tournament. You know, I prepare my tackle all the time right here at the house before I leave, anything that I think I might encounter. And that's what I got tied on, and man, I look forward to you guys commenting, and I look forward to mailing these to you and getting some feedback from you. Until the next episode, guys, good luck, catch some big fish, and don't forget to subscribe.